good enough.
But if you hear
This is really good because this is like when you're about to rap.
Yeah, this is emotional sort of.
This is a tone.
Yeah, buttery. My favourite buttery tones of the Pagey train.
I love how when everybody comes here and they get on the Pagey train, they're like, hey, it's like so excited. I'm not that excited.
No, but well, you are internally excited.
I'm happy to be here, but I'm.
Yeah, some people get overexcited.
I mean, it's what we're talking for 2 hours. Is that
2 hours, hour, 3 hours? Let's just see what happens.
Let's see what. Oh shit!
I don't really. I don't time these things. Man. I don't time them. I don't time them at all. Like basically, when I run out of battery, sometimes I'm like, I'm out of battery power.
So
show's over.
4 a.m. and the sun's coming out.
Oh, dude. I had some guys make me power supplies for the Lumixes, so that they don't run out of battery, and they only work. They only work for 3 shows. They fried, so it's a bit of a bummer. So now I'm back to batteries.
There it is.
Well, I got to go buy. I can buy power packs for the lower body, but it's just another thing I've got to do.
They're very nice. So these guys are capturing footage, right? Well, 4K? Do they do 4K?
They do 4K, but I'm currently getting 1080p into a hyperdeck and a desk behind the computer there.
No, you don't need me in 4K. That's not what you want to see. you mean in 360p? Like you just want to see me blurry, kind of see this kind of you don't want to see me too close.
Yeah, I think I need to be seen sometimes in proxy light.
Exactly right. There's like squinting through some coloured glass. Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, you look great.
Yeah, I love this peephole ratio that you've got going on. So it's really good. So cinematic, so futuristic. So new wave, man. So new wave.
The future.
Yeah. Peephole Productions.
It's got a ring to it.
Yeah, it sounds like we're selling something else though.
Oh yeah.
Giggity.
Sounds a bit more profitable than most films. Most independent film, anyway.
Yeah, totally, man. If you are doing this straight up for the money, you're in the wrong industry.
Wrong business.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong passion.
You got to love what you do.
Oh.
You got to love it.
But I discovered it late, so I got
had the same problem.
Sucked into it.
Yeah, same problem. I only got into it in I think it was 30 when I started filmmaking. Well, I made stuff before that, but when I took a serious approach to going, no, I want to be a media practitioner, man. And build media products and hustle nickel and dime so I can go and make the productions that I want to make rather than productions I'm getting paid to make.
That's right.
And that's there's a slow march for me.
Yeah. But there's a lot of pride in the results, so that's kind of what is the thing that keeps it all together. Is the fact that you take pride in your contributions.
Yeah, totally, and the collaborations as well. I love a good collaboration.
The process is great. Working with new people all the time. And I love it. I love working with new people. I love the process. I'm a process-based guy. I also every time I go into anything, I know that I'm going to come out with, it's like a Tasmanian tiger, you know what I mean? You got this whirlwind idea and you just, and, some people are going to get hurt across the way, what I mean? Some people have got to get out of the way, and so, sometimes, a lot of people are very happy. Some people are not so happy.
That's true.
Including you sometimes, but that's all part of it.
Yeah, that's true, man. Anyone can get the SADs, especially in production. And it's a strange thing that I have when I experience in production. There's always this moment, there's this crunch moment where you question your own existence. You're like, why in the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah.
And you're like, why have I chosen this path? And there's this sense of the cone of sadness just comes over you.
Oh, yeah.
And then you finish the production, you give it your last inch of energy.
Yeah.
And then you start planning the next one.
Correct. That's the after the shower, cold shower in the corner, crying,
shivering,
saying, why did I do this?
Swaying back and forth.
And then why did I do this? Am I crazy? And then you're like, we should do this again.
Yeah, that was really fun. Man, I think we're ready to kick off. Do you want me I should do an intro. What do you reckon?
Well, why not?
Yeah, let's do an
who
intro.
am I? Who are you? I don't even
why
know.
are we here? What's going on?
Two guys talking. I think it's got to be more than that, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be more than that.
2 guys, 3 drinks, and 3 spiders. You know.
I like the spider. I'm particularly fond of this artwork. Is that your own personal artwork?
Yeah, man. I've got a name for that artwork. It's the man looks into the universe, and the universe looks back.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Love.
It's all about the title.
I just want you to do that 20 times bigger.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. I love
Jackson
it.
Pollock, you look, because it's a Jackson Pollock rip-off for you guys that can't see this. Well, no one can see because it's on the wall. Yeah. You think that Jackson Pollock is all random. It's not true. It's quite calculative what he did.
Wow.
It looks random. That's the beauty of it. It looks random, but it's not. That's what I learned by trying to do it. It's not random at all. There's a technique to it. And a variety of techniques as well.
I'm a huge Basquiat art fan, as you can see.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to afford one. I think Jay-Z and Madonna own most of them.
Okay.
But I'm a huge fan, and he was a graffiti artist in New York and in Brooklyn. He died of a heroin overdose. He was from Haiti. He lived on the streets in New York and Brooklyn. He took some of his postcards to Andy Warhol and saw them, and he collaborated with him, and that's where he started to get some global recognition. And I'm a mad fan of his work. I mean, I'm not the only one, but now they've kind of retrospectively looked back at his work like he's one of the great masters, you know, on the same level as Picasso and the like. And
oh, wow.
He's a very special artist. He's a graffiti artist background. Samo was his tag. And it was a very troubled man.
I love graffiti artists, and I like using graffiti as a measurement of art in a way, like, or a comparison to art is a better way to say it. Like short films versus feature films, right? People go, I only watch feature films. You're going to go, well, to make a feature film, you generally have to start making some shorts first. And it's like, and people on trains, they go, I hate people that tag trains, but I like those murals. And you go, well, hold on, how do you think the guy that made the mural got there? He started tagging trains first, man.
Correct.
You know, you got to go through the grassroots to get to the top.
Correct, and you know, even right now, you know, that's, you just segued me into it. But you know, I'm doing a short film right now with a great director called Jonathan Adams. I don't know if you remember Jonathan Adams. He did The Rough Stuff, which was a cool sort of Aussie film.
Oh, okay.
In 2017, I had a theatrical release. And that's why I have this beard right now, because I'm playing Kevin in his story called The Beginning, and we shoot that on the 18th, and I sort of play a guy who has a cult. Oh, you're like a cult leader. Cult leader, yes. Yeah, mad. I couldn't say no to the role, you know. It's like cult role, you know. I've always wanted to join a cult, you know. Just check it out, see what it's like. and the best bit about it is I get to, you know, I've got to appropriate with all these women to kind of make sacrifices to the apparent aliens that are about to fly by and yes. So there's some really cool stuff going on. So I don't want to go into it too much. Because don't give too much away. I don't want to give too much away, but it's exciting. You know, it does sound fun. Jonathan Adams is a good director. Check him out. Big shout out, Jonathan Adams. Big shout out for Jonathan. You're right here, right now. Well, while we're doing shout outs, I should do a shout out for me and you, man. We still haven't done the intro. Yeah. We haven't had an intro yet. We haven't done the intro. When it's happened. We're holding people out for this intro. Oh wait, I thought you had a big graphic that was going to come up on the screen. Michael Butt. No, I sort of have that, but it's got my name on it. So it's like Roscoe Page and Michael Butt. Yeah. And the little guy at the bottom in the corner, Michael Butt. Yeah, and I can even hear the piano in that. All right, yeah, that works out well. I can do that. All right, so how we do it? Let's do it. All right, let's do it. You ready to go, Jan? You ready to go? This is show number 2 for you, Gay? Yeah, number 2. Welcome to show number 2 for you. Yeah, thank you very much. Show number 119 for me. Show number 1 for you. We've been meaning to get it for a long time. Years. How long have we known each other for now? Like, this is... Oh, shit, dude. I've been doing the festival with you for like maybe 5 or 6 years. 7 years, maybe. 7, and I think... Because I think I've missed 2. I haven't attended 2. One was like don't know if I was in the country. I was out of the.
No, you were shooting somewhere.
Yeah, and that was devastating for me. Devo, as we like to say colloquially, you know.
Yeah, but you've been in a lot of the promos. You've been in a lot of interviews, man. You get plenty of coverage being a supporter and sponsor of the festival.
Oh, I just love giving back to people in the West in general. So talented. My wife is from the western suburbs. We lived out here for a long time. We used to live in Emu Heights. And, although I was born in Paddington, I actually first started coming to the festival in Paddington.
Yeah, that's right,
which was many moons ago.
Many moons ago.
And I just love the talent. And, what you and Misty do with the festival, it's always exciting. You always discover great talent. I remember that Indian production about the guy, the cook in the...
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That has stuck with me.
Kana Kazana.
Oh, what a great short. That if you haven't seen that one, guys, go and check it out.
Oh, man, the actors in that movie I've seen in promos for feature films that are on Stan and Netflix.
I'm not surprised.
They're killing it, man. Those guys are killing it.
They're a fantastic bunch. But that's just, without directly, shouting out to anyone in particular. I mean, there's so much talent that comes through the Made in the West Film Festival.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Myself,
I can't believe it. I literally can't believe how good it is.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
totally
on the
world class.
Stage. Yeah,
it's totally world class, man. I heard we actually had a plug on the radio the other day. I got to hear, which it was a bit inflated my ego a little bit. They said the best festival in the country.
Wonderful.
I'm like, wow, so I've never heard us referred to as that before.
Yeah.
I was like, it's got a bit of a ring to it.
I like it. I'm rolling with that.
Yeah, a lot of apparently there's because it's hard to read your traction, right? You might read your analytics online or read comments to try and gauge where things are at and see what people are watching, and you can look at this data and make a educated guess, but ultimately you don't know. You don't know where the audience trend is at the moment. You may be able to see where it was, but sometimes it's very hard to see where it is.
Yeah.
But what I get told by people on the street is that people come up to us, they thank us for it, and they go, "Oh, by the way, little Johnny's putting this movie in this year," and you go, "Oh wow," and then you run into someone that's totally random that you haven't met before. They're like, "Oh yeah, have you heard of Made in the West?" I'm like, "Yes, I've heard of Made in the West. We run it." There's definitely a vibe out there, and there's definitely heat on it. A decent burn that's going on with it.
So how did we meet? I don't know
how we met. How did we? No, I think I applied for a job to go work with you. You were looking for a producer.
Really? Oh my god!
Yeah. This was 2014, I think it was.
2014. Wow.
Yeah, 8 years ago. Yeah. And we got chatting and we just hit it off.
Yeah.
I didn't end up working. I didn't end up doing the job.
You were doing something else. You were like, because I came back around to you, and you were.
Yeah, and I was unemployed.
You were doing something else.
Can't remember. I was running the TV station at that time as well.
You were doing the band on the Friday nights or something?
Yeah, that's right. I was releasing an EP at that point.
Yeah.
And I was as usual, just a busy dude.
Yeah.
But I just missed that opportunity to work with you. But we became friends anyway. So
yeah. Oh, for life, for life. And I try to support as much as I can anything you guys are involved in, and I kind of been doing this now for I started as an extra, so I'm pretty proud of my contributions. I was a body double and stand-in for Lawrence Fishburne on
I've seen
films.
Well, you're actually in the Matrix though. I've seen you in the Matrix though. You actually play a role in it as well, right? Matrix Reloaded.
The directors, they were very happy with my work, and so how they, Andy and Larry at the time, they both had sex changes now. They're both women. But at the time, Andy and Larry were very happy with the way I worked, how intent I was. But I was just there to learn how to make films. I was just like, what? They're like, this guy's really into our work. It's like, no, he's trying to steal all your shit, man. But these guys were the best of what they do, They really were impressive. I mean...
Oh, dude, cutting edge. You got to rewind the time, when the Matrix came out, man. It was a yardstick. It changed filmmaking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the kick scenes have been parodied through history.
Oh, it is, popular media now. You'll refer to the Matrix in so many different ways. But watching them work is they'd have like two video splits going. One here, and then they were mad basketball fans, so they'd have the basketball just above, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, you mean you can watch basketball and make a feature film at the same time? I love this job. I love this job. This is my job. I want to do this. And every time I've made a film, I've been under so much stress as I don't have a chance to go to the bathroom. Like, I don't know how they used to do it, but they were impressive.
Oh, dude, it is an undertaking. Whether it's a short film, feature film, documentary, TV show, it is an undertaking. There's no qualms about it. But I think this is a good segue to actually do this intro. What do you reckon, Mike?
We're gonna do this intro.
I'm gonna do this.
I reckon we're gonna spend this whole time just
trying to get to this intro.
Trying to get an intro up. Yeah.
No, I'll do it.
Right. I don't know what we're gonna do. You just have
I'm just gonna do a piece to camera. I'll just a quick piece to camera and say why we're here.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Are we down?
Do I have to do anything?
No. Just wave.
I just wave.
Just wave and I'll introduce you.
Cool.
And welcome to the Pagey Train. Today I have in the studio with me Michael Budd, writer, director, all-round awesome dude. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
There we go. We got it done.
That's it. That's it. We are here.
We're here now. We're now on the show.
I'm ready to do it. The show is the life. We are doing the show now.
Yeah, well, I always do the pre-roll on the show anyway. I put everything in.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, no,
professional.
Other guests, I say to them, like, don't worry, this is just the warm-up.
Mm-hmm.
But I put that in as well.
Yeah. Well, we've been jamming, we've been jiving.
Yeah, man.
We're talking.
Think, me and you don't need to warm up, man.
No.
We could talk underwater, dude.
Underwater. I mean, I go all day, all night. All night, all day. You just tell me what we're talking about next, and let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. But I always feel like I can rap when I get these things going on. This microphone is great. I love the sound of it.
Well, you started out as a muso, right?
Yeah, I'm a rapper. I was a rapper. I was doing music, but I got frustrated because the guy who I used to do music with, who I love him, God bless his soul, he's still alive, but, Gavin Pritchard, capital G, we're in the G-Force, we're at the band, we were hot, we're doing what people were doing. But it was just like he never wanted to share the music with anyone. He was worried about the beats getting stolen. And, it's just so much of like we were all in the room.
It's so common that.
And we just never get it out. And then we had an album and we just never really pushed it. It was all paranoid about waiting for the deal to sign. And we went and talked to some people and Sony and these places. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get into my acting, And I had a gig. I was a resident MC at this club, the Fringe Bar in Paddington, and I was doing that every weekend. I was making money from music, and then I saved up a lot of money, and I went to London. And I was actually on the set of The Matrix, and I said to Lawrence Fishburne, I want to be an actor, and he said, well, if you want to be an actor, you need to go to London, darling, and learn Shakespeare. And I'm like, who's the fuck is Shakespeare? Shakespeare? Isn't that to be or not to be? So I went to London. I studied at the Impulse Company in London, and I did 2 years doing the Meisner technique, Stanford Meisner.
Yep.
He's a great, repeating. He was part of the Stanislavski technique, which they discovered in the Russian theatre that they could teach acting. And so he was well respected.
Well, Stanislavski, just to let our listeners know, that's a technique on acting where you anchor an emotion. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's investing in the reality of doing. So you invest in the reality of doing, and you observe and respond, and they realize it's something you could teach. And you go further back as Richard Boleslavsky in the Russian theatre, but I don't bog you down in all the theatre stuff. But I went to London, I started doing plays, and I studied at the Impulse after 2 years, and I was trying to get my stuff out, and I was realizing I was Australian, and when you want to make your own stuff, you need to tap into your people. So when I came home, it was in 2012, I made Love of My Life. It just all really happened really fast. And then I just started, making stuff all the time. I did do The Cold Light of Day with Bruce Willis and Sigourney Weaver in between that time. I shot that in Spain for 3 months, and that was a real treat, and that was something special. And I got that because I was working in the theatre. I was doing a good job in the theatre. Some casting agent based in Madrid was in London for the weekend, saw me, said,
you want a job?
Yeah, you want a job? Basically, she said, I'm going to put you on Skype with this guy, Mabruk El Marachi. Do you know him? I said, no. She said, he's really good. He did a movie called JVCD. It's a great film, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I was like, okay. So I'd set up my room in a certain way with the pot plant here and the lighting and the boom, and I'd wait online for 40 minutes, and then some assistant would come on and go, Mr. Marachi can't see you today. He'll try tomorrow. Yeah. He did this 4 times. So by the 5th day, I was like, oh, man, this guy's never getting on the line. Then all of a sudden, boom, he pops up on the Skype. I'm like, fuck, this is incredible. And he goes, this is not an interview, because I was getting my lines ready. I was going to perform for him, you know what I mean? I can do this job. And he said, it's not an interview, just a meet and greet. I wanted to let you know you're going to be working with a great actor called Roshki Zem. Have you heard of him? I'm like, no. He goes, he's a big actor, played in, he's on the Champs-Élysées. He's like, he's on billboards, this guy. He was in a movie called Days of Glory. He's a big French-Moroccan actor. They're all kind of French-Moroccan guys. It was great. I just went and worked with Bruce Willis and like Sigourney Weaver, and I know Bruce is not well at the moment, but it was really cool. I was working with Henry Cavill, who at that time just got cast as Superman, and so I had to beat the shit out of Superman, so that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
I love that.
Beating up Superman is always good for your ego.
It's a good feeling. It's a good. Funny thing is, my son now in his room is this massive Henry Cavill, like Superman statue in his room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dad beat him up, right? He goes, yeah, I know, Dad. I go, but Dad beat him up, right? He goes, yeah, I know, Dad.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah, man. So Sigourney Weaver, man, Bruce Willis, they're 2 of my biggest heroes, man. I love, obviously love Sigourney Weaver for, Aliens and...
she's magic.
Oh, and was one I really liked that was Galaxy Quest. You ever see Galaxy Quest?
Galaxy Quest.
With Tim Allen.
Tim Allen?
Yeah,
the
Tim
Tool
Allen.
Man?
Yeah, Tim Man the Tool Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. So they, it's like a Star Trek parody, right? And aliens from outer space watch Star Trek and they think that it's real. And they get attacked by, the barbarian hordes from Zenith. And,
how do I not know this?
Yeah, it's Tim
I've
Allen.
Seen over 3,000
Alan Rickman.
films.
Alan Rickman's in it as well. He plays like the Spock character that has gills.
I must say.
You know how
I do remember photographs of Alan Rickman with the gills. It was quite popular.
Yeah. So that's that's Galaxy Quest, man.
Galaxy Quest. You're schooling me on some old school movies.
Yeah, because Tim Allen is like the Captain Kirk character.
I've seen over 3,000 movies. I'd say I've probably seen. I don't know. I've lost count.
I don't know how many movies I've seen. I know how many movies I own. I own about 3,000-4,000 of them. Yeah.
I know that I've got a book that says 3,000 movies you must see, and I look through it, and I'm like, very rarely find one I haven't seen.
Yeah, no, that feeling.
Trying to look for one.
Well, I guess I've been slipping though, man. I've been slipping.
Well, the TV series is getting big. This whole Netflix, this whole
binging,
this whole binge thing, the binge thing. Some great shows have been out, man.
They have, man. They are addictive. They are addictive.
We're watching the Resort right now. We're getting into that. We think that's cool. We're watching that, and we're watching a lot of shows. This is it's a changing time. I need to start making content which is 10, 12 episodes at a time, because the film format that I love. And I'm never going to not make films. That's the thing. Like, I'm stuck. It's like, I keep saying that. I've been saying that, but that's all I do. I've made 4 feature films within 10 years. I'm prolific. I'm one of the most prolific filmmakers in Australia. And I don't doubt saying that to anyone. And people that know me and are familiar with my work know that. I'm prolific. I made 4 feature films within 10 years. It's not an easy feat. Hasn't been easy. And
some people take 12 years to make one.
Correct. And each time I've made a film, the production value's gotten bigger and better, and everything's gotten more exciting. Ruby's Choice with Jane Seymour, which I'm happy to talk about anytime.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we can unpack that.
But we just come back from Santa Barbara in LA, where it showed, and I'm about to head off to another film festival, which is just asked. Newport Beach Film Festival have just invited me, so I'm heading over in a few weeks for Newport Beach.
Sounds exhausting.
It's tough life. It's tough life. It's tough, It's like the cocktail. The last one was, they call it the where it was Santa Barbara's. They call it the Californian French Riviera. It's all boats, and it's like Montecito, where Oprah lives. So we met Oprah's friend. She's like, I'm Oprah's friend. I said, that's an intro. That's it. You describe yourself. Hey, I'm Oprah's friend. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We met Oprah's friend. My wife. I said, we met Oprah's friend. She didn't say her name. She just said, I'm Oprah's friend. I was like, I'm buying it. Yeah, cool.
No, she changed her name to Oprah's friend.
Yeah. I'm now Oprah's friend forever and
Your table is ready, Ms. Friend.
Well, I just like to say I'm friend of Oprah's friend now. Correct.
Well, I'm friends with the friend of Oprah's friend, which
this is how this thing goes, right?
Yeah, it's a sticky web.
It's a beautiful web of friendship all around and excitement.
Yeah. I'm Yarn's friend. That's what I say to
now
people.
Now Yarn is the friend of the friend of the friend of the friend of
who's
Oprah.
Like you're 6 parts removed from Oprah. How do you feel?
We pretty much all know Oprah now, right?
We all know Oprah. We're all 6 degrees of separation with Oprah.
Yeah. Well, actually, she was in a movie. She's The Colour Purple.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
She's a great actor. Great actor.
She did a great job in that movie.
Yeah, she's great.
I used to watch her talk show though, like before she was big.
Just the Oprah show?
Yeah, I think it was the Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah. Well, of course.
It was on at lunchtime. It was competing with what was it? Jerry Springer.
Oh yeah.
Donahue.
And also
Sarah Jesse Raphael.
Wasn't she competing with the guy? I'm Not the Father. Remember that one? What was that one called?
Mopo. Murray Povich.
Murray Povich. She's not the father.
Yeah.
Bastard! I knew you were the father.
Yeah.
That was a great.
She said she did not sleep with that man, and that was a lie. Yeah. No, but tell us about your movie, man. Tell us about this movie.
Well, we just finished Ruby's Choice, starring Jane Seymour. We got a great Australian cast in it: Jacqueline McKenzie, Stephen Hunter, Coco Jack Gillis, who I believe is blowing up massive right now.
Yeah.
She's on all types of shows, but great cast. Stephen Hunter won the Film Critics nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, great.
We won Best Film at the Australian Screen Network. I won recommendation for director. Jane Seymour won Best Actress. We got invited to Santa Barbara, so we went there and we promoted the movie there. It was really cool. We were playing in cinemas across Australia, and we're currently playing in cinemas in New Zealand right now. Great. And it's doing really well in New Zealand. Yeah, cool. Actually, it's doing probably better in New Zealand than it did in Australia, so it's kind of strange. But, does
it have a website? Do you guys have any social presence on this? Can we look this up, Yarn?
Ruby's Choice.
Ruby's Choice, bro.
It's on they got a Facebook page going. They've got radioactive pictures. There's a Facebook page.
See, we get a poster of this bad boy.
Yeah, you can get a poster of it at least. Yeah. So
something.
Let's do something. Yeah,
something.
Come on,
let's go.
Let's not just.
Oh, look at you.
Look at this.
That's a great shot.
I'm in Santa Barbara there, baby.
Yeah,
you should see.
Very photogenic, baby.
Groovy. Look, I mean, the cast is absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal cast. And
IMDb, man.
I hadn't done anything like this. I hadn't done an Australian drama. I really wanted to do that. Because my background's hip hop, you know what I mean? I'm funky, I'm not.
Get tickets,
Bring
that up there.
Yeah, get tickets, man. Go get tickets. If you're in New Zealand, you go see it now.
Yeah, put that to the line.
Yeah,
Ruby's Choice.
Jane Seymour. So I'm really proud of the film, and we started putting it in more of that comedy area because so many people were coming up to me saying, "Oh, I don't know if I can watch it because it affects me so much." 50% of the profits are going to dementia research, which is great.
Yeah.
It was financed by Sir Owen Glenn, and he was a philanthropist who wanted to help spread the word about dementia.
Yeah.
We've all become dementia ambassadors. We've been raising money for dementia. And, we just... dementia's the number one killer of Australian women right now.
Yeah.
And...
with a greying Australia, man, that problem is not going to get smaller. It's going to get bigger.
Yeah. And I mean, Ruby has been slow because in the international front, with distribution internationally, because of the factors that we staggered the release in Australia, then we staggered it into New Zealand. Because remember, even when we put it out in Australia, we had all those floods. We had.
Oh, that's right, the Armageddon. I forgot about the fucking Armageddon.
That happened right in the middle of this release, and also, the COVID thing. And now we're just opening.
Oh, that was the other Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Sorry, I forgot about that as well. Sorry, kids.
And I made it during COVID. It was one of the only 2 films in Australia being made that time.
I'm going to get you a trophy that's of a man ice skating uphill.
Oh, it's just like, could you throw... it's like you talk about The Matrix, that was me going backwards, and these daggers just kept coming at me. It was nearly impossible to do, but, we did it one way on, one way off, sanitizing, all stuff everyone knows now,
Yeah.
But no one knew then. So how are we going to do it, I had Jane Seymour in the country. I had her for like 14 days. I had to get the stuff. You know what I mean? If she gets COVID, I'm screwed. You know what I mean? Like, the pressure was immense. You know what I mean?
The pressure's already immense.
It's already immense.
Forget COVID, it's already a big problem.
Yeah, you got a big international star now, and she's older. She's I don't know, 70 or something. So it's not
she's in high risk as well.
Highest risk category. Yeah, and you know, I had her agent, very zany guy, very cool guy. Goes, don't worry, she's got the antibodies. It's great news. He says she's got the antibodies.
It's great news. She's got the antibodies.
Yeah,
it'll be
she's
fine.
got the antibodies. It'll be fine. You know, and I talked to my sister who works at Campbelltown Hospital. She's the head of the physio there. She's a she's a doctor whiz. You know,
my sister works there as well. As she's head of ICU. Yeah.
Well, they would know each other.
They would. Totally,
my sister's Charmaine. Shout out to my sister.
My sister's known as the Dragon. So
the Dragon. Yeah. My sister's probably Dragon as well. It's a very serious business though. We thank their service and we need them, and so we feel blessed to have them.
Yeah.
And she said there's no antibodies.
There's no such thing as antibodies anyway. We made it up. The whole thing was made up. That's a really bad American accent on my part.
Yeah. I love it. I'm actually I'm actually auditioning for a play right now called Clydes, with a leading film stage director, Darren Yap. It's a Broadway play, and I'm right in the midst of reading for him tomorrow. Yeah. So I've been my accent is. Are
you going to do a Yank accent?
Yeah, I've been doing a Yank accent. I'm not going to do it now, but I
accidentally. No, don't do it now.
I fall into it every now and again by accident.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I know what you mean because I
don't know I'm doing it, but it just happens.
Well, I work. I'm strange though because I will flow between different accents. So I like doing a southern accent. I like doing a southern bad guy. Quietly spoken dude that carries a big stick sort of thing.
Oh, you can do it? You can do it?
I'll do my southerner.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, no, I can do it in all kinds of ways. I was talking about it off air before. I've always wanted to say no doubt on screen. No doubt. Yeah.
Well, I can do an Irish accent, I think, but I'm a black guy doing an Irish accent. It makes no sense.
Oh, you can do the Irish accent. It's not too hard to do that one.
Yeah. Better than mine.
Yeah, well, I'm Irish, so
it's kind of handy to be able to do your own accent, right?
Yeah, totally, man. It's well, that's a strange thing. Like, I've tried to. Oh shit, man, that battery is fucking caning, bro. It's just so unpredictable. Anyway, you know, the Australian accent was Irish for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, because they brought convicts over and they were all Irish.
I'm sure.
So you had Brits and Irish and Australians. Sort of that accent really was, you know, from first Australians and Irish blending, mixing together. That's where the accent comes from.
My cousin's got an Irish background and he can outdrink me. He's such a better drinker than I am.
Yeah, it's just a DNA thing.
Yeah, it is a DNA thing. Like, he will hit a bottle of whiskey up and he'll just, like, destroy me. And I'll just, I don't know how. He just walks out. Like, see him, like, I'm like, what? I'm about to be sick. You know, I'm about to vomit all up in here, everywhere.
Yeah. No, I very rarely get to that stage, but, yeah, no, I can put him away. That's for sure. No doubt about it. But big shout out to my wife. She's Eastern European.
Misty.
Oh, yeah. Eastern Europeans can outdrink Irish, man. That's just a fact. It's just a fact. Oh, yeah, you know. Yeah, Nastravie, okay? He's Eastern European as well.
European?
Yeah, he's Eastern European. He's from the Czech Republic. Yeah.
Well, the Czech Republic.
It's actually Central Europe.
Central Europe. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we love the Czech Republic.
Don't want to be offensive.
Great football team the Czech Republic have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good at sports. Very good.
They are pretty good at sports, actually. But so transitioning from, you know, being a muso and going into acting,
yeah,
and then taking that step further into directing, what was that journey like?
Well, you know, I'm a guy who predominantly thinks he can do more than one thing, and
I can relate.
And I just felt like, you know, Australians, filmmakers. Look, I think we're past that old kind of, you know, in Hollywood where you had the Jewish directors who that's all they did was they got the shot. They didn't care about the acting as long as the shot was perfect and the composition was right. And now you're going through a new cycle where actors are stepping into that role.
Yeah.
You know, and actors are directing. And I just feel like you have to do more than one thing, because it's like, you know, if you just do one thing, then that's kind of like, you know, it's our industry is made for people to be able to do more. Like, it's made for you to be, you can be actor, you be a producer, director, a writer. Why would you limit yourself to one thing? You know?
I totally agree.
If you feel you can do it, you know, and the stigma just changed, you know, it just changed at the right time. People were trying to do new things and more things, and I just was one of those guys, you know, I was one of those guys that wanted to do more. So when I was transitioning into being a director, I took a lot of my mentorship from Scott Williams at the Impulse Company, who taught me a lot about staging, because that's really my cool thing that I can do, right? If you put like 12 people in a room, I can quickly say, you're standing there, you're standing there, you're standing there, and you're standing there, and I'm shooting from here, and I know where everyone should be standing, you know, it doesn't stress me out. You know, I can just do it, you know, and then I love to like see the human aspect of these guys investing in their reality of doing, and the ball going back and forward, and dialogue just floating on the top like a canoe, you know. So dialogue just has to be lucid, it has to float on the top like a canoe, and the main thing is in the conversation is that imaginary ball has to go back and forward, bounce, you know, observe and respond. And so if we're getting all that stuff, and then I can frame some good shots and get the light right, you know, it looks good.
Yeah. Well, I think that I think lighting and sound they're the silent killers. Is the lighting and sound. It's what people give less consideration to. They worry about the script, they worry about the performance, worry about the blocking, worry about the cinematography, composition, but then they didn't light it right, or they didn't record it right.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you don't have, I've always been blessed to have great sound people. Always, they've always had the great sound people, and I've always had, I've always had good DOPs. I mean, all my, you know, I've only really worked with 4 guys, actually, in 4 films. So I work with Steve Arnold. Oh, you guys will probably know him from Last Cab to Darwin and Rams, which was recently out, and also Ruby's Choice.
Yep.
We worked together, Steve and I, in 2012 on Love of My Life. We made a really cool horror film that we decided we didn't want to put any gore in it. And that was a big backlash, because we were trying to play with, like, speaking of sound, I was trying to do sensor deprivation through sound, you know what I mean? Trying to play with different things, different techniques. And then I was doing these flashbacks.
Hey, my camera's about to die. Can you just flick to Mike and let Mike talk? Yep, cool.
And I was doing these flashbacks, which are very cool now. You know, every film, every TV show, they're flashing back. And I was doing flashbacks, and I got panned for it. Oh, too many flashbacks. Film ends on a flashback. Got panned for that. But it turns out that everybody loves a flashback now. You know, everybody's doing flashbacks. And I always say to my wife, I sit there, I say, you know, I was doing flashbacks before they were cool. You know, I was doing flashbacks, you know.
Well, I like the good, because you need those indicators for flashbacks, right? So the indicator for a good flashback is a textural change. You know, it's always going to be in a brighter hue, or it's going to be in a cold blue, or the future is different, or the past is different. And the audience knows by these visual cues that it is a flashback. And the quintessential one is like the, you know, where they do the swoosh, you know. They're back in the past. You know?
Yeah.
But sci-fi, I think, when sci-fi does it, man, I think it's hilarious, because sci-fi gets so lost in itself, they have to put up a little tag at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and put the year and the place. You know, Los Angeles.
Earlier time.
2049 or whatever it is, you know. And that's part of that, you know, shifting of time. And I think that this really taps into something I think about a lot lately. And I think that I explain to people, you know, when you're watching a movie and they go, oh, that's broken the suspension of disbelief. And they go, well, that's not how that would work. And then you go, well, to shoot that scene, you've got to compress 5 ideas into this one scene. And there's going to have flaws in it. But the magician of the filmmaker is to make sure that you're not looking at the flaws, you're looking at the thing that doesn't have the flaw. There's these things that may have flaws that develop in there. Like, I think a good example, a movie I watched recently was The Big Short, right? Yeah. And they're in the lobby, and they find the dossier on the and while they were doing an interview, they found the report about, you know, the housing market about to crash. Like, the odds of that happening are so extreme. Like, there's no way that actually happened that way. It's just they compress those two ideas into that scene.
Yeah.
So film compression is about, time.
Yeah.
And that's where it ties into that flashback. It's all about time.
Yeah,
how you manage time.
Well, in doing that, you want to bring characters together, right? So, a good way, if a good script or a good film idea is when all the characters meet in the room at the end. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, perfect. It's a perfect play. It's a perfect movie. Everybody's meet up.
Yeah.
And I was watching that one about those guys in the South with John B and all that. It was Netflix. It was a young teenage drama. I've lost the name for it. They was set in the South, and it was they were treasure hunting and everything. But the directors always had a way of like, they'd be running from gangsters in one part of the town, and their friends would be looking for them, and he'd like jump into a shopping cart and then fly down like four streets, and then bang, they bump into each other. Like, that's impossible. Like, in this city, there's no way. But you're like, oh, I'm loving it. They're together now. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that just have to happen to make the story good. To make it work. Like, and
well, when you compress things, you're going to get lost in some way.
Yeah.
You can't have it in real time. Well, there are some films in real time.
But
very few. The one that springs to mind for me is The Nick of Time with Johnny Depp and Christopher Walken. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hit you in the eye with a soda iron. Hit you in the eye with soda iron.
I've never gotten my Christopher Walken right. It's really hard to get Christopher
Walken. In the soda iron.
That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, I like my Alan Rickman, actually. I'm trying to do my Alan.
Go.
You want me to do my Alan Rickman? Go. Hello, Alan. This is Alan. Take the pork chops out of the freezer and put them in the fridge so they can defrost.
I must say that was very good.
Yeah, that's my Alan Rickman.
It was very good.
Yeah, I've been working on it. I've always wanted to do. I always want to do voice acting. More and more, I'm doing voice acting more often, and I really enjoy it. I just wish I could get to do more characters. I'd like to do more character-based stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah, well, I think it's trial and error. Just trial and error. You just do it. You just practice and you keep going and have fun with it.
I was a cameraman that got stabbed by a homeless guy in the last film I did. So, I'm not on screen, but I'm carrying a camera.
I saw you once on screen. You were great.
Yeah, the Operation Kung Flu.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a mad movie, man. That was a big shout out to Maria Tran, actually. But talking about directing and acting, that's something that really opened me up, man, because I always directed movies, never really acted in them. And I realised that the director is an actor. It's just that they're at the different end of the equation.
Yeah.
It's the same components. You're still a storyteller, still a performer. It's just that you're directing the performance, or you're being directed as the performance.
Yeah, well, if you're the director, like this actor is doing you. They're they're like an extension of you. Like, obviously I can't play every character because that would be weird, right? But you can play me.
Sure, damn, give it a good shot though.
But you can play me. I mean, you can play the lady in this role with the Michael Budd version of that lady, which is me. So we're always, everybody's me in the thing, and it's like 12, 13 me's going around, but they're actually different people. But they're doing their own thing as well. But
I know the name of this movie, though. I know the name of this movie. It's called I'm Oprah's Friend. This summer, I am Oprah's friend.
And I am friend of Oprah's friend.
I'm friend of Oprah's friend. Part 2.
And there is 12 of us playing us. Yeah, we are all us. We're the same person, and 1 in 12.
Written, directed, and starring Michael Budd.
That's not uncommon to go through the credits and see someone who has actually had 12 credits. It's not unusual.
Yeah, I think
especially in indie film.
Yeah, man, I think I've actually tried my best to make sure I'm in the credits the least amount of times I can be. Like, I've even said no to credits in films that I've been in because
you can't take all my. I can't get all the credit.
Yeah, don't give me all of it. Just give me that one, man.
I get a script and I dissect it. Like, when I got Ruby's Choice, it was called Grandma's Coming to Stay. It was a comedy, and we flipped it. We turned it into a drama. It still ended up being really funny in America. So recently we've tagged it as a comedy because the Americans love it. They laugh so much.
Yeah.
They laugh at the funny points. So they want to be happy. They want something to laugh at, you know. And then all the other European and the Australian audiences, they take it more dramatically. But, you know, I don't take credits for everything that I do, but I take a lot.
I want the good titles.
Yeah.
I want the good titles.
Yeah.
I know I edited this thing, and I know that I was a runner. Just credit me as the editor, man. That'll do. That'll be fine.
No, unit manager. Do you know when I made Love of My Life? Funny story. Like, I arrived at 6 a.m. with a ute, and on the back of that ute was a fold-out table. Yeah. And on that table, I had bins and a fold-out table, and I folded out the table, and I had, your Kellogg's. I said, I'm making this look like a real production, like a Hollywood production. So I had, Special K, I had Wheat Bix, I had fresh fruit, I had different types of coffee and green teas. And I loved it that I had green teas and peppermint teas, and and I set all that shit up. Yeah. And then I went and directed the movie for 12 hours, and I acted in the movie. And then everybody went home, and then I broke down that thing, and I put that on the ute, and I drove home. Yeah. And then I got home by about 10 o'clock. Then I watched the rushes till 1:30. And then I was back on the set again at 7 a.m. Yeah. So when I started making films, I was making films. Yeah. And now obviously, I don't have a big trailer or anything, but I have decent sized rooms and things of this nature. But yeah, I started right at the bottom.
Yeah, well, it's the best place to start because you get the best foundation, man. That's what I've learned as I've grown as a media dude, someone that is either performing in something, directing it, or writing it, or producing it. And I'm moving more into the producing side of things these days for some reason. The grassroots, the foundation. Another way I refer to it is I call it the slow growth. Slow growth means that you've got a better foundation. You get impatient with it. Like you go, I want to be a rock star today. But you can't be a rock star today. No. That's not how it works. You've got to have knowledge. You've got to have experience. So don't get me wrong. There's some people that can leap in one single bound and do it all at once. There are those people out there, but they're less than 1%. And if you're going to be realistic and passionate, you've really got to sink your teeth into it. And that's indie films. That is short films, and put yourself in a position where when that job shows up, you're ready.
Yeah, and I think, just adding to that, the last 3 years, the filmmaking landscape has changed immensely. We are going through a whole different world now in the filmmaking landscape in terms of what the people want, the streamers, these guys, what they're looking for. Like, to be honest, like if someone gave me $1 million, or $2 million to go make a film, I'd say, let's make 3 films. You know what I mean? Because we don't know what's going to happen, right? Let's not put all our eggs in one. If you were going to go and buy stocks, you wouldn't just go buy one stock. You get 3 stocks, right? Yeah, so you diversify, you mitigate a lot of the risk. So we don't know what's going to be hot and what's not. So we put the films out. So it's like the film business, like the record business, right? You get 12 tracks on the album, and then like how many are hits? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Not all 12 are going to be a hit. So these filmmakers that are like deluded about, this is geek, they put everything into it and they think this is the one. It's like, nah, man, just make stuff, keep banging stuff out, keep building your brand, keep building who you are, and then eventually you start to get traction and people start to know what you can do and see, because the only way to be evaluated for your work is to have a body of work, right? Because you can't evaluate how good someone is off one film, right?
That's true,
yeah. He's a great filmmaker. I'm a great actor, but you did one film. So how do we know? Like when you start seeing 6, 7 films, 4, 5, 6, 7 films, you start to go, okay, I can kind of see, I've got what this guy was doing. And let's look on the other side right now. Let's just flip it to like the buyers, right? So you got like people like Apple, Amazon, guys like that, they don't care, like Paramount, they don't care about your film. Like, you look at how they're making money. They're making money from merchandising, right? Yeah. So they're not interested in what your film is. They're interested in the market, right? Who is your market? So if you want to make a film right now and it's niche, like it's niche film, right? It's about skateboarding or it's about surfing, go do it. That's great, because, chances are Amazon will want to play your film, buy your film from you, because they will know that actually we've got a great special on surfboards coming up this Christmas.
This is how we can promote it.
And this is how we're going to promote it.
Yeah.
This guy's got a film about surfboards, and we know that their audience is, 16 to 18-year-old guys and girls who surf. So we're going to sell them flippers and wetsuits and blah, blah, blah. Come over to Amazon. We love your film. It's great.
Yeah.
They don't care about your film.
Yeah.
They only care about the market and the audience.
Totally.
So the most important thing you have to know is who is my audience, right? And what is the market, right? Then you have to start to work out, okay, so how do we start swimming in those streams?
Yeah.
And so that's where the biggest change is, because we used to make films and say, oh, yeah, well, my film's going to get picked up because it's great and good acting and this and that. It's like, no, who is it talking to, right? No, that's because, like, Apple, you go do your research. Apple, Amazon, Apple wants to sell you phones, wants to sell you Apple TV. You know what I mean?
I was watching. I was recently watching Ted Lasso. Right. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It is mad. It is ridiculously wholesome.
Great show.
So wholesome, and he's
One
so
of
wonderful,
the best.
so wonderful, wonderful character. And every chance that you see, they're flipping. There's one that he did product placement, which I thought was clever because they used it and they tied it in a narrative, which is the best way to do product placement. He was on the phone on a voice call, and you could see the Apple logo on the back of the laptop, and he closes it, and then his daughter's still on the phone, and he goes, "Oh, Daddy, I'm still here," and then he flips it up again. So he got the logo once. And the logo again.
Just in case you missed it.
Just in case you missed it.
Yeah.
Now you definitely know. Now you've been hit with that logo twice.
That's
But of course they're going to put Apple products on Apple TV. They're selling Apple stuff. That's how it works.
Of course. And Amazon and all these
Amazon
guys.
is selling everything while trying to take over the world.
Yeah, yeah. But they just need to know who your audience is. If it's confused,
Totally.
it's like, I don't know who's going to watch this.
Who's going to buy it?
Yeah, who do we? Where do we put it? Because we don't know who's the audience. And look, the biggest problem we have is the content quotas. Like I talk to big streamers like all the time, and they're like, well, we don't have to take your Australian film. We don't have to do that. It's like, but it's made an Australian film, and you are setting up your office here. I'm not going to mention names. Yeah. There's only a handful of streamers, you probably guess.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's not hard to draw that bow, no.
And they arrive here in Sydney or wherever they're based,
Yeah.
and they set up an office and they say, we are now the Australian office. It's like, oh, great. You're going to look after Australian people. Oh, you're going to look after the filmmakers of Australia. You can buy their films, right? No, we don't have to. There's no quotas.
Yeah.
And so we're all fighting for it, but even then, we're all saying 20% quotas of Australia.
And there's bias in that, though, as well, because then you go, well, they're going to push content that is from companies that are more attuned to Amazon, right? They go, well, technically, this company Amazon owns that production company. Of course, they're going to show that as well. There's also
their own shop.
Yeah, that's right. They've got their own biases in the market. So you're going to come across that. That's why quotas are important. They had... for Australian TV, they've got quotas.
Yep.
The ABC has to play so much Australian content. Same with the other networks. But who the fuck watches TV? No one's watching TV anymore.
Look, screen producers, shout out to Angus and the guys over there. They're doing a great job fighting hard to try to make this happen. And these quotas will happen one day.
They should be. They should be in place, man. Just as as it was in the previous model.
Yeah.
I think there's some things that can be taken from... there's some things you've got to cut away because, things change, things evolve.
Yeah.
But those quotas are there because we understand that those biases are there. We understand that there is a flood. We're a small percentage in this really large market. Of course, we need quotas.
We do.
Of course, we do.
And let's talk about the offset a little bit. You got to spend $550,000 to get a rebate on your film.
That's right. Oh no, you got to spend $550,000, and your rebate is everything after that $550,000.
Well, the rebate is qualifying production expenses. So I think it might be just the $550, right? You go over $550, you get the
$550 back. Is that how it works?
No, you get 40. It's 40% rebate on qualifying expenditure.
Yeah,
but it's never that much because, like I always say, if you have a party like the after party and you spend $100,000 on the after party, they're not going to say, oh yeah, here's 40% back for your after party. Man, we love chipping in for your whiskey. No, there's qualifying expenditure. Then there's caps on. But in London, they didn't have that. They had this thing called the microwave. and they were giving $100,000 grants out left, right, and centre. And so there was a great, like when I was in London, there was a great atmosphere around making independent film because they were like taking that scattergun approach, right? The Screen Australia and these bodies, they should be like, let's bring that down. Let's just rebate anybody who spends 200 grand or 150 grand on a film, right? And let's just put stuff out. Like they're worried about diluting the quality. Actually, the techniques are getting better. You can do a lot more now.
Totally.
You know,
It's
we
totally
don't
different.
need as much. You know what I mean? Not everybody needs to have. Like I shot my last film on a Sony Venice. It was very nice, by the way. But you know, but you don't need it. You don't need a Sony Venice. But you know, it does help. But you know,
No, you don't need a Sony Venice, but you want a Sony Venice.
and a Chapman Dolly. You know.
Wow, Jesus.
Yeah. And but look,
He was taking a cash gun to set, just flicking money at people, just for fun. Who was that guy? I don't know. Give him $100.
Yeah. He said, good morning, Mr. Butt. $100 for that man. Bye, Mr. Butt. $100 for that man. No, it's kind of like, you know, we just need to. It's coming back to that thing where I want to see more stuff have a crack at the market. You know what I mean? I want to see more films have a go. I want to let the audience decide if they like it or not. I don't want governing bodies to decide if my film's good. I don't want it to just be about the films that Screen Australia make.
Oh, come on, Michael.
You know,
You're trying to tell me the guys with political science degrees and that are, you know, in their 60s don't know how to judge films that are made these days.
Well, this is why you have the festival, right? This is why you have Made in the West Film Festival, because you wanted to buck that trend.
Yeah.
You didn't want to see the same content going in the same places. You wanted to expand your horizons of what's possible.
Yeah, totally.
Especially in the West. And
I wanted to
impressive.
unpack it. Wanted to let it be set free. Just let it be set free. And the way that I did that was by separating the management from the decision making of the content. That's how I've done that. Like the content isn't decided by me, Misty, or Jay. Yeah. Like we do the curation when the.
I know. I'm a judge.
Yeah,
I'm a judge. I've been judging it for 7 years. Judging it.
Yeah, so you know, you guys get the content. We send it to you. You guys decide. You know who the winner is. And then it's not hard to. The strange thing with Made in the West is it's not hard to find the winner. The winner's the easiest thing to find. It's the person that's come last. The ones that are on the edge. They're the hardest ones to choose and pick.
You know what I enjoy? I enjoy watching the student films because, you know, you see little sprinkles of brilliance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Flashes of like, that's a great idea. But no, fair enough. Okay, you didn't put it all down. Like, it didn't all work out to be one thing. But there is some magic there. And let's celebrate that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, but again, though, I've watched some student films that have come out in the last few years, and they could have easily been independent films from 5 years ago.
Yeah,
the quality is shifting.
Yes,
and I think that's to do with accessibility. It's to do with young people educating themselves.
Yeah,
being self-taught.
Yeah,
and I really see that coming through. Last year, it was the first time that a student film won the Audience Choice Award.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
so a student film won last year.
It
was Raghead.
Raghead.
Yeah. So it was that was a Muslim chick who was a musician.
Yes,
and everyone. I totally resonate with that film because it's not just speaking about religion and racism and it's not just speaking to that. It's actually speaking to the artist and the struggle of the artist because the struggle of the artist is it's the same for everyone. Yeah. It's just that your position or pecking order may be different, but the struggle's the same.
Yes.
Doesn't matter you're black, white, gay, straight. You're gonna.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Struggles doesn't know about.
It doesn't
struggle
care.
is. Yeah, struggle is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's indiscriminate, man. Yeah. The struggle is indiscriminate. It doesn't care. Like it is going to be hard, and you're always going to be going up against this force that claims that it knows what it's doing. Right?
Yeah.
Like certain bodies out there that are trying to dictate what is Australian content.
Yes.
These I know we all know what we call these things box ticking events, right?
Yeah.
They've got to tick a box, right? Does it have? We need a Aboriginal, lesbian in a wheelchair.
Indigenous.
Check. You know, Indigenous first Australian.
Yeah.
We need that in there. Otherwise, it's not an Australian film.
Yes.
That's just crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. Of course, that's an Australian film, but there are other Australian films as well.
Yeah.
We were talking about Kana Kazana before.
Yeah.
That's an Australian film that has Indian Australians in it, right?
Yeah. Love that.
Great movie. I think he's got a deal too. I think he got a deal for his
for the feature.
For the feature, yeah.
Oh, the feature's gonna be epic.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think he's got it written. I don't want to speak too much out of turn about it, but I think he's got a deal in the pipeline.
Well, my background's African American. I met all my family just last year in LA for the first time. My mum met my dad he was stationed in New Zealand in the deep freeze, and the passing cloud. They didn't stay together. They didn't know and they didn't know I was going to be born. It was just like, wow. And then she couldn't find him, and so my wife made me like look up, and we found him in LA. And I've got two brothers. My brother, Jordan Bo Harris, he's a bodyguard for Logic, who's a very famous rapper. And he does soul music. And then my other brother, Brandon Harris, he's a barber, and he cuts Logic's hair. And they're on the road with Logic all the time. And Logic's like Eminem, he's huge. And my dad, he won the lottery twice. He's like super loaded.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's great. Like, and they live in
There's lucky and then there's lucky.
Yeah. they live in Oxnard, California, and when I go to LA, they're open arms, and it's really special. But I am born in Paddington. I grew up in Australia. I grew up with a single mother in Housing Commission in South Coogee, then moved over to Maroubra.
Yep.
Went to Maroubra Bay High School, home of the Bra Boys, and I always wanted to get me tattooed up, wanted me to join the gang, but I didn't want to join any gangs. I always had these ideas of doing music and, big dreams, and it was tough. I came through very tough. I came right from the bottom right to the top, and I've had a lot of adversity, but, there has been a shift. Like, we have to give props to the Australian filmmaking community, the casting directors. Shout out to Stevie Ray and those guys over at McGregor's, and so many of the guys that I've been working with. I've recently just shot the Optus commercial, which is running on TV right now. So that's all across every channel. But you wouldn't have seen that 6 years ago. You wouldn't have seen a guy like me in an Optus commercial. It was just unheard of, you know. So we've got a big shift now in like the multiculturalism, and we are starting to get it. And it's guys like you that are at the forefront of that. I don't know why, because you're like a white Australian.
Yeah, no, I don't know how that worked out. But I guess my anchor to all of that is like I grew up in a really rough part of the world. And I grew up as a white dude. I was part of a minority where I grew up. I grew up with a lot of Vietnamese. I grew up with a lot of Islanders, Aboriginal folk. I grew up in a place that was, ruled by violence. Yeah, just outright. The law.
Where's that? Blacktown.
Close. Campbelltown.
Campbelltown. Yeah.
Yeah, in a place called Aids, and the police wouldn't even go there. Like they didn't even go in there. Like, how bad does a place have to be where a patrol car goes, "Fuck that, I ain't going in there." It was a rough place, man, and I realised. But the thing that I walked away from it was about loyalty. These places have had loyalty that I've never seen anywhere else. Yeah. The loyalty that you had in those neighbourhoods, and you always knew an outsider. When an outsider showed up, you're like, "This person's here. Who's this person? Yeah. Why are they here?" And the only thing that travels faster than the speed of light is gossip, right? Yeah. So then that gossip would get around. Like, I remember a guy showed up in my neighbourhood and he was selling double pane glass. I'm like, "Ooh, a salesman!" Like, we never see salesmen here.
He obviously hasn't got the memo.
No one's told him.
This place is crazy.
Yeah, my mother said, "Where'd you park your car?" Yeah. "What are you driving again?" He goes, "Oh, an SS Commodore." And she's like, "Ooh."
Meanwhile,
so where'd you park it again? She goes, "Oh, he goes, just down that street." And my mother goes, "Look, when you go down there, and if your car's not there, come back up here and you can use the phone."
Yeah.
And 15 minutes later,
I get it.
He came in. He's like, "My car's gone."
Yeah.
Like, "Yeah, dude, you're in the wrong neighbourhood, man.
You brought the beast into town."
Lucky you weren't near the car when they were stealing it. Could have been way worse.
Yeah,
could have been way worse for you.
You've been dragged on concrete.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, well, are the police going to come?" We're like, "No, you'll need to get a cab." to go to the police station and report this because they're not coming here. You're going to be waiting a while.
I know this stuff. I grew up with this stuff.
Yeah, no, but with those experiences, I realised that a few things come out of that. To stand with where others won't stand, say when others won't say.
Yes.
To point out the obvious.
Yeah.
Sometimes the obvious needs pointing out. Like, for instance, we've got a few pats on the backs from different organisations. From Made in the West, they would be going, it's great that you're promoting female directors and people of colour on screen.
Yeah.
And we're very quick to say we don't do that.
No.
We promote content. It's just that we promote content from Western Sydney. It just so happens if you live in Western Sydney, you're gonna come across different kinds of people.
Yes.
It's not a difficult thing to understand.
But you never run out of milk and sugar, because if you need it, you can go get it from your neighbour and they'll be the first to give it to you.
Totally.
It's the most warming, loving environment, and family-orientated environment on the other hand as well.
Yeah, look, I remember I could smell meals because we had the rules, right? The street lights would come on and you have to go home, right?
Yeah, I know that one.
And when you were walking home, you could smell all the meals, and those meals would be different. You can go, they're having curry, and you'd be like, they're doing some sort of weird rice thing in there. I can smell the soy sauce in there, and then you go, that's curried sausages.
Yeah.
You'd smell those meals on the way home, and then you'd smell your meal that you're going home to.
Yeah.
I don't know if people experience that anymore. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But there's something about that.
Great times.
And I think a lot of stories come out of that. Like, I tell people stories, from where I grew up and where I've been all the time. And they go, man, you should have a podcast to talk about that, right?
Yeah.
You should write a book about that. You should make a movie about that. And I've been told that my entire life.
Yeah.
And I'm around people that are like that as well.
I know. I'm with you, man. I grew up in Housing Commission in South Coogee. It wasn't uncommon that in the middle of the night, someone would be walking the streets trying to fight some random person. There's no one there. You'd be like, what's going on? Oh, there's someone's out there with their shirt off, running around screaming. I go, who's out there? She goes, no one. Just one person walking the streets, randomly like blowing up.
Yeah, look, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry about that, by the way. It was a bit inappropriate. But that's where we met. That's where we met. Yeah. I was that crazy guy chasing his thoughts down the street. That's normal. Yeah. Where I've come from. That's a normal thing.
Mental health, mental health issues as well, which we must acknowledge. And if anybody listening to this podcast is going through anything, a hard time like that, please reach out to Lifeline. And know
Beyond
that
Blue.
You're always loved. And we get it. Stress can be heavy and weigh heavy on you. But there's always a way out.
Well, it's really come to light in recent times, mental health, right? Like, I think COVID is something that definitely brought it to light. The cabin fever of people being locked away, the marriage breakdowns that happened because of people being locked away.
Yes.
I know, but it was bizarre. I got married just before COVID.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
They got married up in the Blue Mountains at the Norman Lindsay Art Gallery, right?
Yes.
Beautiful wedding. It was the best day of my life.
Yeah.
We were lucky. So it was during the bushfires too. Remember the bushfires? It was the skies were literally red. Yeah. And it was one day of the week where it wasn't red and smoky, and that's the day we got married. It was the only day out of 12 days, because that went on for 2 weeks almost.
Yes.
And we had this perfect, beautiful day. And then after that, we had our Christmas break. I had a real good run because I did Made in the West. I released an EP, got married, and I think I did some acting as well. So I had a really good run, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of that, then I did that's right. So I managed to land a gig at Frankie's Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Right, which is like the creme de la creme for heavy metal bands, right? You want to sing at Frankie's, it is the shit.
Yeah.
It was an amazing gig. They do the whole curtain draw, the whole lot, right? Get your green room, get a case of beer, you get the full rock star treatment.
Wow, I love that.
It was mad. And then we started hearing in the news about this SARS, COVID-19, and when you hear that, you go, oh, just another crazy virus that's going to get isolated. And, lockdown happened. And I said to my wife, because we were disappointed, couldn't go on the honeymoon, right? Because we planned to go on the honeymoon. And I said to her about a year into COVID, I said, we're so lucky, Misty. She's like, why? I said, because we got to have our honeymoon in lockdown and, together all day, every day. And she's like, yes, all day, every day. It's wonderful.
I'm not getting it. You're crazy.
Yeah, no, it was good, man.
Yeah.
We had a
No, we loved it. We all
I loved
bonded.
it.
We bonded. I love being around. I had my kids climbing all over me, and I had my wife with me, and we just we were going through all of us. We were going through like something like global. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, you know, we used to watch like, you know, Planet of the Apes, War of the Worlds, you know, all this stuff. But we're actually living it. We're like, oh man, this is, you know. At one point we're like, do we need to board up the windows? What if everybody starts like running out of food? Because we go to Woolworths, there'd be no food. We're like, what if people start like saying, like banging on the door, I need food, you know what I mean? Like, could get crazy. It was like on the edge.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going to happen.
You didn't know what was going to happen.
But it turns out everyone just stole toilet paper. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was just like everyone, you know, punched on at the local Woolworths over who stole the paper towel. And, you know.
Yeah, no, that's my 2-ply.
Yeah,
Back off.
yeah. You got the double frame shit, motherfucker!
I don't want this 1-ply fucking shit. Give me that 2-ply. It's my 2-ply. Yeah, it's the Y2 the Y what was it? Y2-ply bug. Can't get it out. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it went crazy, man. But I like don't get me wrong. Like COVID was terrible for a lot of people. But in our business, we were quite agile. We pivoted. We managed to get 2 Made in the Wests during COVID.
Wow.
We didn't miss one.
Wow.
We didn't miss Made in the West at all. It was hilarious, though, man. The first year, I had to make sure that no one had a beer in their hand.
Oh, yeah.
For the photo. No. The first year, you had to have a drink in your hand to have your photo taken. Because you weren't allowed to stand next to each other unless you had a drink.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, yep, I'm with you.
The second year, you only were allowed to drink if you were sitting down. So I had to make sure that you weren't photographed holding onto a drink.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? It was bizarre. It's totally bizarre.
Yeah, the rules.
Yeah, because I had
changing.
Yeah, well, you would know that I had my Made in the West minions out there policing things.
Yeah,
and I would go, make sure no one has a drink in their hand when they get photographed. No selfies, no nothing. If we get if we break the rules in any way, they'll put our lights out straight up, and they'll use this as an example because Liverpool was a hot spot.
Oh yeah, Liverpool was a hot. I remember coming out there thinking, "Wow, we're going to the hot spot.
Yeah, we're going to the hot spot.
We're in the hotbed of things now."
Yeah, we're in the
like
ground zero.
Triple mask up.
Yeah. We're at ground zero of COVID, but we got through it, man, because we were agile.
You got to pivot. You know, we when we made the film, you know, Jane Seymour, she quarantined for 14 days. You know, I booked her for 14 days, and the agent said, "Oh, she's gonna have to quarantine for 14 days." I said, "I'll get her out." And so I became more of a politician than, you know, a filmmaker.
Amazing.
And I started like getting on the phone and banging the phones, and I ended up getting through to this guy in there was this weird department called the infectious diseases, like, and it was made of like 30 people.
Yeah, I had made worked on that.
Yeah. And it was like, we decide if you're going to quarantine or if you're not. Like, if you're Nicole Kidman, you don't have to quarantine because you're too famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because if
Danny
you're famous,
Minogue, she came flying in. She didn't have to quarantine. Oh, she quarantined, but at home.
Yeah.
So I was like pitching my story. Oh, we're making this film. It's a role where it involves physical activity. So she needs to come to our hotel, which was the Crown Plaza, Hawkesbury.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we were. That was where we had to make our own base, you know, so that no one goes outside of our bubble.
Yeah.
And So I found this guy, and he was British, and he says, "Oh, I know Jane Seymour. Actually, yeah. Oh, I'm a big fan."
Was it like, I know Jane Seymour? Or was
No, he didn't.
It wasn't like that.
No, he didn't. He didn't talk like that. What do you think he is? He's not from East London.
No, he's not from Brixton.
He's not from East London, Hackney, or anywhere like that. So you get me?
He's not.
He had a proper accent, actually.
He had a very proper accent.
And he knew Jane, and he said, "I'll get her out on Monday."
Oh,
and I was like, "Boom!" Yeah. So what happens? I call up on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, they go, "Oh, James, he's on holidays for 3 weeks." It was just that kind of film. The film was like jinxed. It was like, oh my God, you couldn't believe the things that we had to go through with this film. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, the amount of things. And we had all these people.
A lot of gambling, though. That's what I didn't like about what we were doing. It was a lot of rolling the dice and see what happens.
It is. We don't know. We've never done this before. No one had done it before. So
calculated risks.
I had everyone in a bubble. But then I'd have these like sound guys and stuff sneak off to go clubbing and the weekend. Someone said, "Oh, did you see that guy who was at this club?" I was like, "What do you mean he's at this club? He's in a bubble." It's like, no,
He's
man.
not in the bubble.
He
burst out of the bubble.
The only bubbles he's been having are champagne bubbles, you know.
Yeah, but that's what we did at the
we
festival,
take a
man.
lot of,
We did that at the festival, man. You had you had the bubble check-in. You weren't allowed to leave your bubble.
Yep.
So we called them the Uber bubble. So if you arrived in an Uber together, that's your bubble.
Yeah.
So arrive in the same Uber, you will sit with those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works.
It's well
But we didn't know
run.
what we were doing. We just we did it like you said, man. We tried to
put
do
people first. You tried to protect people.
protect the people.
Yeah, and that's always going to be, you know, the thing that you know that you can hold your crutch on because that was your forefront.
Yeah.
Say, you know,
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I don't want you to
be that
get
guy.
it. Yeah, I don't want you to get it, man.
Yeah.
No one wants to get it. No one knew. I just had it. No, I went, when did I had like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I got COVID. And I was like, I told everyone I can't get COVID. I said, man, I can't get COVID. I've been around people with COVID. I can't get COVID. I don't get COVID. Tried to like talk my way out of it, like everything incorrect. I could get COVID.
Yeah.
And I got COVID. And
Highly infectious disease, dude. I don't know if you read the papers or
don't worry about it.
There was a few.
He's got the antibodies. Don't worry about it.
He's got the antibodies.
He's got the
antibodies. He'll be fine.
It's all good. Send her out. She's got the antibody. So it knocked me, man. I had 3 jabs. You know, if I didn't have 3 jabs, I don't know if I'd be here right now.
Yeah, I had the 3 jabs and it knocked me about.
And it knocked me about.
Did you feel the jabs working, though?
I feel like if I didn't have 3 jabs, I wouldn't be here with you tonight.
Yeah, I feel like that. Like I had when I got the vid, it was last year, but I could even feel like where I got the jab.
Yeah,
I could feel like it pulsating while I had a fever. Wow. And I'm like, oh man, that's got to be something with that,
that's
right?
Good. That's the good sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like we're duking it out.
yeah. I was like, trying to trying to cough this thing out, and there was nothing there. Nothing there.
Yeah, there's dry cough. Yeah.
Nothing there.
I definitely hallucinated a lot when I had COVID.
Blow my nose. Even the thought of COVID is making my nose run.
And me too. Now you're making my nose run.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's sympathetic nose running.
It's crazy. It's COVID's talking to me.
It's COVID. COVID's got become sentient.
I'm back. Thank you.
It's
for
the nanobots in COVID that are clearly we are now 5G nanobots, and there's no getting out of it. Please comment below.
I'm sure it's going to work out. Like there'll be some like rain shower of like comet rain shower, and the people that haven't got the jab, it will just like take them out, and then we'll just be like, like something will happen. We'll have some glow, or maybe the aliens will come and just say, "Who's had the jab? You can come with us."
Yeah,
it's not. I don't know.
I've got a crazy theory though. You want to hear me crazy theory?
I was one of the first 5% to get the jab. Berkey, Gladys, what's it?
Gladys Berejiklian.
She came on. She said at this point in time, less than 5% of the population have had the jab.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I've had this jab. What have I done? I'm crazy. I should have waited at least for like half of us to have this. Why would you go and be the first 5%? That was me.
Well, this is what I said to my wife. I said, we're just going to hang back. We're just going to hang back. We're just going to hang back.
Let's just ride it out. Let's just see what's up. You know, let's just check this out. Let's not like rush into anything, bro. Let's just chill, man. Chill. Let's not like not rush into anything, bro. Bro, we just gotta see what's happening with this, man. You know. Could be a good thing, bad thing, but I don't know, bro. Just chill.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if how it affected people, and if there was news headlines like jab kills 16 people in one day, I'm like, we're not getting it. But that's not what happened. So
no.
So I got the jab.
We roulette. We played.
Yeah, man. It's roulette not taking the jab. It's roulette taking the jab.
Everything's roulette.
Everything's roulette. Everything is.
Yeah.
Roulette.
The tester.
It was roulette. Yeah, I was waiting for number 11 to land. Legs 11, let's go. Apparently, I was at a casino recently, right?
You were at a casino?
Yeah, I was in the Burswood over in Perth, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I went, I was playing roulette.
Nice.
And I was betting on 11. Right?
11, that's the number, isn't
That's my number. That's one of my numbers anyway. I pick a different number every time I play. Not that I play a lot of roulette.
Well, then how can 11 be the number if you pick a different number every time?
It's one of the numbers.
But
like sometimes it's 23, sometimes it's 32.
So there is a lot of numbers, but...
Yeah, there's a suite of numbers that I pick, and 11 is one of them. Okay. But 11 was the number for me that day. And I learned that you're not allowed to click your fingers in a casino.
Oh, no, clicking the fingers.
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
So I'm like, come on, 11. He goes, no clicking. I'm like, what? And I walk away.
I don't think he liked you.
No, because then I was playing blackjack, same thing. I was like, come on. He goes, no clicking. I'm like, what the hell is with the no clicking?
Maybe you're giving signals.
Yeah, they might think it's signals, but I thought maybe something else like with the dice, maybe like a sonic device where you like flick over the ball or flick over the die.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, and
maybe.
you might be screening it with that.
I'm not clever enough for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, can you look it up, Jan? Why can't you click in a casino? Can you check that out for me? I'm intrigued.
I can't go to a nightclub then because I'm a clicker.
I'm a clicker. I'm a clicker and pointer.
Oh,
Woo!
God, I got the click and the point down.
Why can't you click your fingers in a casino? I don't know. Maybe they're just having me on. Maybe I was an annoying prick and they just came up with it.
I think he didn't like you.
There we go.
Superstition. This is superstition. That's filming. Dov.
Yeah,
Shout out,
filming.
Dov.
Yeah.
Shout out, Dov.
That doesn't have anything on it.
Nothing.
There's nothing. They fucking lied to me.
They're liars.
Counterfeit chips. No.
They're liars.
What happens if you do?
He just didn't like you. He said, hey, no clicking. Hey, no blinking.
No blinking.
No blinking,
No
buddy.
breathing. No talking. Just give us your money and get out.
He got you. He got you.
Well, actually, I won that night, so I'm pretty happy about it. Experts saying there's nothing on it. 17 unwritten rules in poker. Like, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, you got stitched.
I totally got stitched.
Yeah, stitched up.
They don't tell you. Like they're not saying online.
You came over there to Western Australia with your Eastern Australian accent.
Yeah,
trying to like
that's a problem.
Be all big.
Big shot.
Big shot.
Yeah, big shot from the
guy.
Yeah, big shot from the East Coast.
What? Clicking your shit everywhere? You can't just
had a polo shirt and had wax in my hair.
Yeah, what do you think this is? I just click my way around town.
Yeah.
No clicking, buddy.
Yeah. It just calm down with the clicking. Yeah. Like now I don't know why. Now I'm
we know you got a beautiful wife and you're showing off, but let's stop with the clicking.
Yeah. Let's just cut the clicking out, man.
Yeah.
But then 11 landed. It was hilarious.
11 landed.
11 landed, man.
Made it. That's got a ring to it. 11 landed.
Yeah. No, that's when 11 landed. Everyone was surprised because I was like,
"How much? Tell me."
I had $4 on there, so
$4.
$4 by 35.
35. Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah. So I think it was a couple $100. Doesn't that work out?
Dinner. It's a chicken dinner.
Yeah. It's almost a couple $100. Almost. But I walked away straight away.
What were you doing in Western Australia? Holiday.
Oh no, brother-in-law got married.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we were staying.
Love a wedding.
Oh, dude, I stayed at a 5-star.
Did you look slick?
Oh yeah. Everyone looks slick.
Yeah,
it was really
a wedding. You have to look slick.
Oh, he got it done in. He did it smart, man.
Your brother-in-law got married. I don't know, but isn't he already married? Oh, he was your brother.
No, he's my brother-in-law because I married my wife.
Oh yeah. So no, but I would have said.
It sounds weird. I know it sounds weird.
No, I would have said my wife's brother got married.
Yeah, but he's my brother-in-law.
Yeah, correct. Technicality.
Yeah, semantics. Yeah, no, it was a beautiful wedding, and we stayed
was
at
Oprah's friend there.
Yeah, no, I saw her. Yeah, no, actually, I saw her friend.
Oh, great.
Yeah. But at first, I've stayed at a few 5-stars before, and always disappointed. You know, 5 stars really? They give it this.
Are we shouting out the 5-star hotel? Or?
Yeah, man, the Towers.
Shout out to the Towers.
Towers at the Burswood, man. It is literally a 5-star hotel. Smells nice, looks good. Fantastic experience.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
Love that.
Had a panoramic view of the city.
Very nice.
Yeah, man. Everything was voice activated.
I haven't been because Ruby's Choice actually had its world premiere at Cinefest Oz.
Oh, yeah?
Which is in Western Australia.
Okay.
But we were locked out. We couldn't go.
Oh, of course.
And I accepted the film to have its world premiere there, but I couldn't even go to support it. It was
that sucks, dude. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, especially a guy who loves red wine. I love red wine.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. If you like red wine, WA is the place to be.
WA, best
Margaret
wine
River,
in
man.
the world. Margaret River.
Yeah.
And me and Margaret River have had some great nights.
Oh, man, I'm very fond of Margaret River. It's one of my favourite places in the world. Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, the waves, a lot of good surfing down there.
There actually was a time where they say that the waves hit the rocks and flicked up the condensation at the right temperature to make the absolute most perfect conditions ever for wine.
Yeah.
And Western Australia had that.
Yeah, man.
And,
They do, yeah. They really do.
It's very special.
Yeah, there's if you ever go over there and you go into the Margaret River...
Don't rub it in.
No,
Don't rub it in.
No, Mr. Barvel. Check out Mr. Barvel.
Shout out, Barvel.
Yeah. Great experience, great people, and there's some people that hate what they do.
Yep.
Some people that are good at what they do, and there's some people that love what they do. And when you are like dealing with a chef or someone who's making wine, you don't want someone who's good at what they do. You want someone that loves what they do.
Love it.
And they love what they do, and you can tell. You can tell that they're artists. They have imagination about what they're doing. Yeah.
And
big shout out. I want some free wine. More free wine, actually. More. They were very generous.
We love you, Barvel.
Yeah, Mr. Barvel. And if you want to, Lancasters is out there, I guess, but they're sort of like the part and parcel. They're all right. They're okay.
So, we are moving on to talking about film again.
Yeah, I'm happy. What was another film that you've worked on? What was it? Inner Sanctum?
I'm in post-production with that.
In post-production with Inner Sanctum?
Yeah. I actually had a shout out to Johan, who did work on it for a year. He kind of, he was working on it. But we had about half a film to go, and we're in a very special... Like, this film is special to me because I star in it.
Mm.
I carry the whole film. And it's a good film.
Yeah.
I just I'm very particular about the effects. Effects are really expensive at the moment.
Oh, they always have been, but
yeah,
they're not. There's always a moment where they become cheap for like a year.
Yeah,
and then the technology changes,
yeah,
and no one wants that anymore. And the new thing's now expensive.
It's like fire. You can do fire 12 different ways. I had no idea.
Yeah,
that the fire that we were doing last year was not going to be cut at this year. And so we would do things, and we're like, oh, no, the fire looks shit. Let's change it.
Doesn't look real.
Doesn't look real, And then we're like, oh, we've got so much fire in the movie. Oh, doesn't matter. Because you can't just show up with shit fire, No. You can't have bodgy lasers. You've got to have the right stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like Sanctum is probably about 6 months off, right now. So, I'm hoping that... I know that 2023 will drop it. I'll drop it, and it'd be good for me because
you've been banging that out for a while, yeah.
Yeah. That one. I parked it. I had a couple other films that I've had to do first, and then I've been working on it on the side. But I've been auditioning for really big films, and I think I haven't been getting them because nobody knows my acting chops. They need to see me in this movie.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a while since people have seen me carry a film.
Yeah.
Because I always cameo in my films. I started off just having a few lines, and then I had more of a role, supporting cast. But this one I carry it. So that I'm really excited about Enter Sanctum. But I was more talking about the process. I was going to ask you, when you direct a film, do you do a shot list or do you just get into space?
That's a hard question because that's changing. That changes in me. I would start in the early days. I'd start at a storyboard.
A storyboard? See, no, I don't. I did have my assistant do storyboards for my film, but then we never used any of them.
Yeah, but that's what you learn because you go to do storyboards, and then as you start shooting it, the cinematography already knows what you want. And they go, "Oh yeah, I know what you want here. You want what we just did before, but a little bit different over there."
Yeah, but it's good. Storyboarding's good if you're contained. If you're in a contained space, but if you're in a space that has natural light coming in, then where are we starting? You might not even be starting there because the light might be coming from another angle. So then we're starting somewhere else, and then we might be able to get you. It's good for pinpointing certain money shots. So now when I do a film, I don't storyboard, but I go, there's a money shot. There's a money shot. This is my coup de grace. This is my creme de la creme. This shot we get in this scene.
Yeah.
So no matter what, we do all the basic stuff, your left to rights, boom, 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 boom,
yeah,
boom.
SRSs, whole bunch of SRSs,
that,
establish
and then we
shots,
might come in, and but I go, this is the money shot, or this is the open, this is the wide shot. So I always make sure now that I have a list of money shots, and so that's how I'm doing that.
Yeah, I definitely started. Yeah, for me the process is changing. I'm moving away from storyboards, but like you say, for technical things, especially a money shot that's a dolly shot, I go, well, I'll even do a floor plan for that. I go, right, so you'll be here, he'll be here, they're blocked here, and that's how we're going to do the shot, right? And this is what the shot looks like in this storyboard.
Yeah.
I might do that occasionally, but it's now... Then I generally just do a shot list. But now I tend to Because then I started doing a shot list, and then I would have to add space at the bottom of the shot list, because then I would have an idea on set. I go, and I want this shot. I didn't think of that shot before, because now that I'm here, it's a little bit different. Like, especially natural. You said it before. Like, natural lighting will change how you look at the room, or look at the open space. So, shot lists I do, but I allow them to be fluid.
I did a shot list once for a DP, and 170 shots, and it was like a few scenes, and he goes, "Mate, you got 170 shots." And I was like so pedantic, and then I just learned to chill out, because I was when I worked on The Matrix, James McTeague was the first AD. He's a great first AD, but then he went on to direct. He directed the Ninja movie for the Wachowski brothers. The Ninja film, and he's done so many James McTeague. Can we get it, James, up on the thing? James McTeague.
James McTeague,
first AD from Australia. Shout out, James. Love you. When I was a body double on stand-in, he was just a first AD. Yeah. But now he's gone on to direct some of the biggest Hollywood blockbusters. James McTeague, we know how to spell it. We know how to spell it. Jan's got this, and he just walks.
He's got a whole bunch. He doesn't know which one.
McTeague, MCTUIG.
We got to get this right. We got to get it. We got to get this. We got to help out Jan. We keep throwing him to the Sharks.
James McTeague. Hey, there he is.
So Jan always gets it done.
Australian film director. See, when I met him, he was the first AD. He's 54 years old, born North Shore. Right. Okay. So James, what a shout out, James. Love you. He's always so polite to me. He's like, "Man, you're a stand-in." I was a stand-in body double for Lawrence Fishburne. He goes, "A great job. It's an important job." It wasn't, but he would make you feel like it was, you know. He started directing stuff. So I met his cinematographer, who works in LA, and I said, "How do you guys work?" He says, "Well, James just walks into the space, and then we just work it out."
Yeah,
and I was like, fucking blew my mind. I was like, "What? You don't?" Yeah, so I don't have to sit there for 6 weeks before the shoot, preparing every single shot the way it should go down. You mean I can just walk on and look at where everybody is, and look where the room is, and look where the sofa is, and look where the light is, and then work it out, and then just go, okay, well, these are the shots. Because I know my AD is thinking, the only thing he wants to know is how many shots. He's like, how many shots? How many shots? And I go, "Oh, well, we've got this one, this one, this one, this one, this one." He goes, "This is six shots." And I go, "Oh, and this one." He goes, "So 7 shots?" You know? And
sounds a bit frustrating for an AD, though.
They get frustrated.
They're totally frustrated for an AD.
But you can just walk into the space and direct the films.
I've done that before as well, though.
That's how I've been doing them. I've been having money shots, but I just walk into the space and I just know what we're doing, and I just do it. You know, like I don't know, it's a blessing. It's like, I don't know.
Depends on your cinematographer, though, as well. Like, I find as a director, you got to fall in love with your cinematographer. There's got to be some sort of form of respect in some way, and if you fall in love, it's even better. Like, if you love and respect your DOP, you're going to have a better time. You're gonna gel. You're gonna connect. You're gonna see things. You're gonna become creatively argumentative, if that makes sense. Because
we used to have the biggest blues.
Steve
Arnold and I, shout out Steve Arnold.
Yeah, but all great relationships will have their blues, right? So you got to. But I find if you're in love with your DOP and your DOP loves you, it's going to be a better process.
Yeah.
If you hate your DOP, you're just going to never agree.
Well, you got to fight for what you believe in. He's got to fight for what he knows. So then you have this kind of I attribute it to like two wildebeests in the jungle, and they're just like going back and forward, you know, there's this tussle, and then if you land somewhere in the middle, that's the magic, right? It's the magic. Like, I go, I'm going to tell you what looks good. Yeah. You're not going to tell me. I walk in with the hump, I have the attitude that day. I'm like, this is it. He's won the last 2 battles. And I'm like, I'm telling him straight, I'm going to tell you what looks good today. And it's just like, and he's just been looking at me like, it's one of those days, It's one of those days. He's been building up for 4 days, and he's coming, he wants to win today. Yeah. But the fact that we both want to win, that's how you get the magic, right? That's how we get the most out of the project.
Well, that's where the commonality is.
We both want to win. Like, we both want to get the best shot. And as long as we're both, like, the worst thing you can do is have a DOP that's scratching his nuts and just thinking, fucking, how much am I getting paid for this gig? And like, well, I can't wait for it to be over. Like, they have a bit of passion because they just have a bit of passion, right?
Yeah.
But the worst thing you can do is have a DOP that doesn't want to get the absolute best shot. You know, and then have a director who's scared to say something about, I think I have the best shot.
Yeah.
You know, and then it is, I got the best shot. No, you got the best shot. I got the... No, it's because... Look, directors handle composition and the cinematographers handle the light, you know? And that is fine. Like, they give you the best light to work in, but they also... You know, a cinematographer, let's face it, has done 10 times more work than a director.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
He's done 10 times more gigs.
They're the running gun. The DOP's always the running gun.
He's always got the equipment. He's always on to the next. When the director's there for developing. Then he's there. You know, and a lot of times you get people running up to you and they'll say, oh, I got this idea. It's great. And we can do this. And you're like, you're thinking, shit, yeah, that sounds good. And then you're like, no, wait. No, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this. You know what I mean? Don't forget that. You know, you got to remember what it is you wanted to do in the beginning. Yeah. And it's like my kids, you know, when I'm at home, I'll say, go get changed for school. You know what I mean? He'll go to play the PlayStation and go, I've just scored 40 points against Golden State. I'll go, yeah, but you haven't got changed for school yet. You know? And then I'll try to like diversify, like throw you off your train of thought. You get that on sets. You get 100 questions a day. People just throw you off train of thought. You know what I mean? And unless you're like kind of like obsessed and you walk in like a robot and just don't let anybody contribute to anything, you know, then you're gonna have to learn to like to file it and then move on, file it. And it's no different working with your DOP. You know, DOP, he's like, oh, we can try this and Dutch tilt and this and that, and then you're like, You're like, wait, I
said at the start of this project, no Dutch tilts.
Unless it's Oprah's friend.
Getting a good angle, right? No, look, I know, don't get me wrong, like, combativeness is important. Fighting for your position for a shot is important. But, for me, the best experiences I've had with DOPs is I like their work and I trust their work. Yeah. And they trust me. Yeah. It doesn't mean you can't have disputes and lock horns, of course. But, I've been on the other end as well as a DOP. When I've been a DOP.
Oh, yeah, see, that's the difference. You've been a DOP. I'm not a DOP.
Yeah, when you've been a DOP, like
I'm not a DOP.
You go, well... And the good thing about being a DOP is it makes you a more aware director, because then you work with other directors and you see how they operate. And, there's a whole bunch of different directors out there, man, and the way they operate. I'm the collaborator. I'll consult with my team. Like, I know what story I want, but I'll talk to them.
I get that, but that's just a profile. You know, that's just a type. You know, when I've just got my coaching badges. I coach my kids' basketball team, so I'm coaching 10-year-old boys basketball now, and I love it. You know, I love coaching my son and his kids. So when we're learning about the coaches, right, they're saying, okay, there is 3 or 4 types of coaches, right? You can be the coach that sits back and just like, man, I'm your friend, just do you know what I mean? It's all good, you know what I mean? Do whatever, you know, and then he gets to respect that. Or you can be the authoritarian coach. So you're like, no, I don't want it this way and only that way, and then that's one way you can coach. These guys at Basketball New South Wales, they actually can tell you the 4 different profiles of coaches. So I don't see why it wouldn't be any similar with directing.
It totally is, yeah.
You just, there's a profile that you take and you say, okay, on this project, I'm just going to chill out. Like I remember saying when I wanted to do Ruby's Choice, I remember saying, I just want to have fun. And then when we got there, it was not fun. You know? It's like, on this one, I just want to have fun. I made 3 features. I know who I am. I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
But the editor, James Manchie, shout out to Manchie, he who's cutting the last King of the Cross right now, he said, I don't know how you and Steve did it, but you just had enough. When I looked for a shot, it was there.
Yeah.
And that's where I have a knack for. And that's what Steve has a knack
coverage,
for.
Man, yeah. Coverage is important. Coverage is super important.
And he forgets. He's 60-something. Yeah. I'm sorry for clicking. I know. Is there clicking in here?
Yeah, no, can we click in here?
You answer back. No clicking in here.
Look, you might affect these die here. Can't affect the dice. Definitely. I think They are profiles, but I think we have elements of these profiles, right? You can be the dictator, but you can be the collaborator, and you can be the the artistic consultant, and whatever you would call that. You can be all of those things, but one of them is always dominant in you.
Yeah.
Which one are you? Are you the dominant director? Are you the consulting director? What kind of a director are you?
Oh, look, people walk away and say, "Oh, you've got a vicious vicious streak or whatever." I mean, it's not a streak. It's an obsession. When I get on the film, I'm obsessed with completing. I'm obsessed with getting everything we got to get, and that's it. And I don't care if you're from Hollywood. I don't care if you're from Rock and Gibraltar. I don't care if you're Queen of England. I don't care if you're the Prince of Denmark. I got to get this shit. It's got to go. It's got to happen. We got to make it happen. And there's nothing like. That's why I liaise on all levels. I don't care if you're the top of the top, the top. I know what we're doing. I know what we're doing. Okay, and I'm across it all because that's my thing. I'm across it all. I'm nice. Don't get it twisted. I'm nice, but I'm obsessed with getting what we need to get.
Yeah. Sometimes I've been described as ferocious.
But yeah, it's not like
and relentless.
It's not like actually. Shout out to Coco Jack Gillis, who told me that when she worked with me, that's when she truly knew she wanted to be an actor. She was the first person I cast. I met her my son was in her same agency as her.
Yeah.
We had T&E management. Shout out to Todd and Emma, and we had a barbecue once a year, Centennial Park, and she was there. She came up, she started talking to me. She saw my daughter was like she started talking to me, and she just had an old soul. She could talk so well. She could liaise all levels.
Yeah.
I said, I want this girl in my film. At that point, she was the voice of Maya the Bee. She'd been in doing stuff. She does stuff with George Miller, Mad Max. An amazing actress.
Yeah.
So proud of her. She's outstanding. Indigenous as well. She's actually from the same place Kid Leroy's from, the Gilmaroy clan. And she, working with me, we had so much fun. We did TikToks on set, we just had fun, you know what I mean? We had fun. And she goes, Michael, I knew I wanted to be an actor after that. Even though she'd done so much acting, it still wasn't clear to her.
Yeah.
But she just needed to work with the right type of director, you know what I mean? Somebody that had that affinity with her. Like, I love my music. I love to do, we did TikToks, man. You go on my Instagram, you see the TikToks we did. We put up, these are on set. These are things we would do on set.
Yeah.
I'd take time out to have fun. And I'm proud of that. You know what I mean? I'm proud of that. And I'm also proud of what we got. I'm proud of my contributions to the film industry.
Yeah.
But I do have to, I got to answer to so many more people than you. You know what I mean? I have investors. They want results.
That's true.
I have distributors who want me to complete, You're just here to do you. And I'm here to do you too, and I hear you. And I want you to do you. But don't forget, I'm across it all.
Yeah.
That's all. It's really
cool.
It's really that simple.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, cool. That's mad. But what about the writing process for you? Let's talk about writing. I've come across two kinds of writers. You've done some writing, yeah?
Yeah. I've got scripts that I've written that I haven't made. I've made other people's scripts.
Yeah.
But every script that I've made of someone else's is always been, I've always made the opposite of what they wanted to make.
Well, are you a blinking cursor guy or are you a planner?
I'm like, let's set the world that this should be in. Let's set the world that this should be in right now. So I'm taking in things like, as I said, when I got Ruby's Choice, it was called Grandma's Coming to Stay. It's ridiculous. Grandma's Coming to Stay. You go to the movies to see Grandma's... Sorry. That was funny.
It is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So
that's a shitty... you can't market that.
Yeah. And
no one wants to see Grandma Come to Stay. No one wants to see that.
No. So it's that sort of shit on a grand scale.
Yeah.
So I'm going through script, red pen. You know what I mean? There's something here. I can feel a lot of people have potential and a lot of people have the writing is right. but we're going to put together a screenplay. We're going to show it to people. I've been performing since I was like 15 years old. I know what people want to see. They don't want to see that shit. You know what I mean?
I don't want to see that. Sorry. I can't get hold of myself.
You know.
Yeah, no.
So the same. I did
Scratched.
I did Enter Sanctum. It was called. She called it Residence, horror film.
Yeah.
I said that's cliche. I said Enter Sanctum, sci-fi. Boom. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's what I am. I'm like, you know, if I'm going to do it, I'm like, let's go. Let's make it something hot. You know what I mean? Let's go hot, you know? But we're still on budget. We're on oil rags. We're not like, I'm not even at my full potential yet. You know, my wife and I, we were like, okay, what do you want? I said, I'm going to start making films, $25 million, $50 million films. You know, I want to make films, big films. Because I know how to do green screen, everything. Like, I know how to do it all, right? So that's because I grew up watching. I was in the Matrix, so I watched the green screen work being done in front of me. You know, cameras all the way around 360. I was also into the Matrix, the game. Yeah. So I know that, and I said I want to make 25 minutes. She said, like, well, where do you start? I said, well, you start making films. You know, like that's where it is. You just start. What you were saying earlier
before, you got to start at that foundation, and that slow growth is important because you know, to have the power of $25 million sounds like something that should be earned. You know,
100%.
To be trusted with that.
100%.
You need to have the credentials to be
trusted
with that.
You don't know yourself yet. You don't know. No. You think you're good. But wait until you make a few, and then you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, 4:30 a.m., I'm like, oh, fuck, I missed a shot. Oh, shit, it's over. Oh, we already made the film, you know? It's like done. I already missed that shot. Like, or I didn't, like, every film I've ever made, I've booked a what do you call it? A thing in the sky, camera, drone. Yeah. Every film I've made, I booked a drone, and every time that either the drone crashed, or it couldn't get up because it was too close to an airfield, or we were too much in the inner city, so it couldn't play. So every time I've tried to make stuff big, I've been compressed back down. And you know what that is? That's budget. I'm not Michael Bay. I'm not like shut this street down from here to here. I can't do it. I can't afford the traffic control. I can't. So I've always got to work in the parameters that are set down by me. That's the magic. And people that know you know you're good from what you do with what you had. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's no other way around it. So yeah, you can make 20. And my wife said, look, hey, you might make 10 films and they might average $40,000 return. Then that's what it is. Or you might make 10 films and one of them was 100 million in the box office, and that's what it is. It doesn't matter what it is.
And now you don't have to worry anymore. You just got to go and make movies.
The process is making the movie. It's like, that's the process, and what you get out of it. Like the ideal has never been to like be really rich and successful in film business, and like
I just want to be sustainable. That's all I want is sustainable.
That's nice too, but like that's not why you do it. You do the work, and then everything else that should flow.
Yeah, it's strange how that happens, man. Because you have these dreams, and you go, I want to go do this thing, and I want to become stable enough so I can have the money coming in so I can do what I like to do. I'm not asking for the world, I'm just asking for enough. And then you realise you start doing it, and you start doing it for a long time, and you realise, I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Why am I being harsh on myself about this? I'm already doing it. I'm already on the journey.
So many people would look at the Pagey train and go, oh my God, this guy is a podcaster. He has like all these videos out with all these interesting characters and people. That's my dream. And you need to always tell yourself, I'm doing somebody else's dream.
Yeah, totally.
Rather than beat yourself up and go, why am I making $100,000 a year off this? You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's good enough.
That's right. Why people ask why the Pagey train and why call it the Pagey train? There's a lot goes into this, right? There's an interesting story, right? Because my handle online is Roscoe Pagey Train.
Yep.
And the reason that my name is Roscoe Pagey Train is because when I was in the military, you weren't allowed to have your name online, right? You had to have an alias. So people used to call me Roscoe Pico Train from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I've adapted Roscoe Pico Train. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. And so I adapted that online, and then I we wanted to set up the show, and we're coming up with the different names for it. What are we going to call this show? You know, I didn't want to put the word "Made in the West" in it. I didn't want to do that sort of thing, because I wanted to have more variation in it. And a very good friend of mine just goes, just call it the Pagey train. He goes, the Pagey train of thought, because you have a train of thought.
Yes.
And you know, you drink on the Pagey train, and you're on the drinks cart, and you're in the engine room. You're on the train.
Yeah.
There's so many things that work with that. There's so many ways to think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it really hit me. I go, it is a train of thought, because this is what we're doing here. We're having these trains of thought, and we're precious with it as well, because we go, we're going too far away from where we want to be. Let's steer it back. And let's get it back to where we're going, right? And there's this art to it. I didn't expect the art of the podcast to be what it is. And I fell in love with it. Yeah. It's not just the art of conversation, it's the art of podcasting, because we've got these headphones on, we're locked in. No one's interrupting us.
No.
I've got to throw you the ball, and you've got to throw it back to me at one point. Yeah. And we've got to keep going. We've got to find something to talk about, right? We know we've got a general idea where we're going, but it's just a Pagey train of thought, man.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just a train of thought.
So proud. You should be so proud of yourself.
Oh, man, it's starting to take off a little bit.
I'm a big fan of Dak Shepard. Have you heard of him, the armchair expert?
Yeah.
He's just a fantastic at Pop Monica. And we were listening to him for years, and then he became huge. Like, it's a phenomenon now. And, you
never know.
Yeah, you just
do it because you like it. I get guests like yourself on. I get to have these mad conversations.
You need to
I get
talk
these
to
insights.
my guy Dermot Heidenreich. My guy Dermot Heidenreich. Shout out to D. Yeah. Dermot, my guy. He's a very interesting guy. I grew up with him, and he actually once was one of the biggest actors in the whole of Australia.
Okay.
He had a Pizza Hut commercial. Do you remember House About a Tip?
Yeah. Be good to your mum.
Dougie the pizza guy.
Here's a tip. Be good to your mum.
Yeah, he was doing it with Burt Reynolds, Andrew Shue, when Beverly.
I do. Yeah.
When Andrew Shue was on, what Beverly Hills 90210, they came out to do a commercial with him.
Yeah, wow.
They go, we got this star. And they brought Burt Reynolds out and Andrew Shue to perform with him.
To be with Dougie?
Yeah, to be with Dougie. You know who he is.
Yeah.
Dougie and I grew up together, right?
Get the hell out of here, man.
We grew up
together. You know Dougie, the pizza guy?
He's my best friend.
Oh, man.
He's one of my best friends.
Yeah, I totally get him on.
I only have a handful of best friends, but he is one of my best friends. And we used to go out clubbing and people used to give him shit. Oh, Dougie, the pizza guy. He can knock you out, man.
Yeah, no, I don't want to bust his balls too much.
He's hard as nails, right? But he's also loving it. He's done Big Sky. He worked with Martin Henderson, Tom Long before he passed. He's done so many films. He was the lead in my film Love of My Life in 2012. We did it together. We've done so many things together, and I think he'd be a great guy for you to talk to.
Yeah, flick him over, man. I'd love to talk to him.
You'd have a great time with him. He's absolutely...
Well, I like interesting minds, man.
And that's what makes the podcast interesting, is that, like... you get these people that have done a lot with their life, and they're happy to talk to you. I'm happy to... you're grown up. I'm normally talking to my kids. My kids drive me mad, my wife is messaging me now.
Yeah, she's already onto you. I
only had 2 hours tonight, guys.
Okay, all right. Well, let's wrap it up, man. But look, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you.
My pleasure,
Michael.
My pleasure to be here, and I'll be back. I'll have something to talk about.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And where can we find you on socials?
Just get me at the Michael Budd.
Yep.
On Instagram. Follow me on... I'll send you the handles, but you can follow me on Instagram at the Michael Budd. Zion Controller on Twitter.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, I remember
Zion Controller on Twitter. And then Facebook. Anybody can follow me.
If you don't know what the Zion Controller means, you've got to go and do some research, kids. I spun my wife out with that. I go, check him out. How young is he?
I know.
He's super young. She's like, no. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I tell my kids, I beat up Superman, and I know Oprah's friend.
Yeah, well, I must say I got a bit flushed in the face when you said that. I didn't know that you knew her. Treat me as
a normal guy. Don't look at me any different. I'm just a normal guy who knows Oprah's friend.
Yeah, good. I'll try and hold back my fanboying. I'll really hold that back. But once again, Michael, thank you so much for being on the show.
I loved being here. I loved working with you guys. Thank you, Jan, to doing the producing wonderful job tonight.
Yeah, good pull-ups. Good pull-ups, man.
Looking forward to judging Made in the West this year and being there live and supporting local talent. And Ross, what you and Misty are doing is, tip my hat off to you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I
you
really
guys
appreciate
are
that.
Made in the West Film Festival. If you haven't already seen it or know about
Check it out at mainthewest.com.au. You can find it there. Be there, be square. We have some promo material coming out soon. We also have Made in the West TV coming out soon as well.
Boom.
So we did executive producing on a talk show which talks about Western Sydney film. Check it out. It'll be out soon on our Made in the West channels.
And one other thing, I am producing a TV show for actors that is going to be showcasing some of the finest actors in Australia on the TV screen. So it's a show made for streaming. So I'm hoping to have a guest judge like yourself come on board.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Judge that.
Yeah, man, I'll give it an honest red hot shot.
Yeah,
totally. All right, man. Once again, thank you for being on the show. And you guys have been watching the Pagey Train. You can check us out on Spotify. That's right, video on Spotify. You can also go and subscribe to us on YouTube. Yes, when you get there, don't forget to tip for notifications and subscribe. But for you avid listeners out there, you can find us on iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, basically anywhere you can find podcasts. You've been watching the Pagey Train, and I'll see you next time. That's it, baby. We're done.
Boom.
Sonic boom.
Don't forget to drive them to my IMDb account because the ranking is good.